next inductee is Paul Garrison. Paul discovered his love for racing when at age 14 he joined his crafty friends and snuck into the Des Moines, Iowa racetrack. Beginning to think it must be a rule that to be a car out of Motorsports Hall of Fame, you have to either sneak into a racetrack as a kid, begin racing at an age younger than the rules permitted, and I also think we have a few members who build cars inside their house, or in Doc Simpson's case, who built it in the bathroom of their house. Paul had a short stint in drag racing while in Iowa, but with bigger plans in mind, he packed up and moved to Colorado in 1959. By 1960, Paul had joined the Bob Walton pit crew at Lakeside Speedway, igniting his lifelong love affair with circle track racing. A serious industrial accident in 1962 threatened to take his life, but his strong character and determination prevailed, and after months in the hospital, he found his way back to racing, building cars and taking his turn behind the wheel. In 1963, Paul took to the track at Lakeside Speedway in his first car, a 1932 Willys. After just 10 races, he mastered the feel of both car and track as he raced through what would be the first of many career wins. He continued racing at Lakeside until 1965, when the half-mile dirt track named Colorado National Speedway opened. He earned his first Colorado National Speedway track championship in 1968. That late model season championship win would be the first of 3 season championships for Paul. His second and third happened during the same season, as he went on to win the 1980 season championships at both Colorado Springs Raceway and late models and Colorado National Speedway in sportsman division. During the same year, he captured the record for consecutive main event wins during a season at Colorado National Speedway, winning 11 races in a row and 13 out of 15 in all. From 1965 to 1988, Paul was a force to be reckoned with at Colorado Springs Raceway and Colorado National Speedway, as Paul never fell outside of the top 10 in points when running a full season. He captured the Texas, Wyoming, and Colorado NASCAR Tri-State Championship in 1981. Racing against some of the sport's greatest, Paul became not only known as an amazing racer, but an incredible friend and knowledgeable resource to people in the industry. Jim Opperman bought Colorado National Speedway in 1998, and he asked Paul to transfer his knowledge of racing from behind the wheel to overseeing the track. As track manager from 1988 to 2007, Paul helped build Colorado National Speedway into one of the nation's best short track racing venues. Recognizing his sincere dedication to the sport, NASCAR presented Paul with the National Promoters Year Award and Team Player of the Year Awards in 2007. Receiving this recognition from the Colorado Motorsports Hall of Fame is a great tribute to his career, not only because he shares it with so many of the other amazing men who have dedicated their lives to racing, but also because Paul's son Michael nominated his father for the Colorado Motorsports Hall of Fame prior to his passing in 2009. Presenting the award to Paul, his board member and good friend, Joe Starr.
Are y'all having a good time tonight? Thanks, Grayson and whatever. Well, anyway, Rob here has covered quite a bit of my 47 years of racing throughout my career, and that's starting from 1960s through today, you might say. Being retired, I play around with some street rods and still build some stuff at home. There's one particular individual I would like to thank so much for helping give me my first championship. It's Wade Barton. He seen some life in me on the dirt up there, and we became his first championship car. And Wade and I are still great friends today, and I just want to thank him a whole lot for what he did, and him and his father seeing some spunk under me yet. By the way, I think those those red pajamas, STB ones, I think Wade gathered them up for me, if I'm not mistaken. But if you do find them, Rob, they ain't gonna fit today. I was a skinny little guy back in them days. Today I'm not. We had the pleasure when Colorado National Speedway first opened. Gene Heffley was a personal friend of mine. He says, we're gonna have a race up here in 2 weeks on a Sunday afternoon. He says, have you got a car ready to go? I says, no, but I will have. This is my first late model stock car. It was a 1957 Dodge ex-highway patrol car, and had a Hemi engine in it. And me and a friend of mine, Paul Krieger, we gutted this car out, and together, over one evening, we put a roll cage in this thing and tore the heater out and a few other minor things that might fall off. And to make a long story short, Gene happened to call me the next day and said, do you guys have that car ready? I said, as a matter of fact, we do. We don't have a seatbelt in it yet. That was back in the day where you just took the right seat back off and run what you had, and if you maybe had a rope, you could probably tie yourself in. But anyway, we did put a seatbelt in it, and one Friday night before the first race happened up there, we got to take the car up and play with it for about till midnight and have a cool one with Gene Haffner, of course. But I happened to be the pleasure of putting the first lap on Colorado National Speedway in a 1957 Dodge. We raced on a Sunday afternoon. We had a 50-lap feature up there, and unbeknown to us, had to fill all them holes in the firewall and everything like that, and all that old grease and everything caught in the frame. We had to happen to catch on fire, so I had to pour in the pitch real fast and jump out. So, kind of proud of that, and did not finish that day, of course. But we did come back to race very successful at Colorado National Speedway after a couple of other owners, and hooking up with Jim Opperman in 1981, I believe it was. Jim gave me everything I needed to race with. We raced throughout the Midwest, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Florida, Kansas, Oklahoma, wherever we could find a racetrack, you might say. And I had the chance to race at Speed Weeks a couple of years there in a row with Jim Opperman. We raced all over Florida, or not Florida, but Arizona, Texas, Missouri. I mean, we raced all over, from Florida all the way to Washington and up and down the West Coast. So I'd raced for Jim there for quite some time. In 1988, he decided he wanted to become a racetrack owner, and that's the year I retired from racing. And Jim wanted to know if I'd go to work for him. And I said I'd be happy to, because of the racing blood that I had. And we teamed up there, and I stayed there in 2007 under 3 different ownerships of Jim Opperman, Marshall Chesron, and David Gamble, and also Jim that owns it today. I retired, and I still play with cars today, building some hot rods and so on and so forth. I'd like to thank all my friends, especially my 2 sons, Michael and Gary, Michael's not with us tonight. His family, my grandchildren, they were probably my biggest supporters, along with my wife Shirley. And I'd like to congratulate all of the other nominees for the 2014 year, all the past inductees, of course, and a special thanks to Rob and his crew for making this thing happen. I happened to be here for the last 2 years just as a guest, and unexpected to me up until this year, I had never thought about becoming on this stage tonight. And thanks to my son, Michael. I wish he was here, but I know he's up here watching over us. And his wife and my grandson and my granddaughter are here in his behalf tonight from Arkansas. So I would like to thank everybody involved in my career. I couldn't have done it without so many people. I don't have as many friends as Kelly Bowen. So I'm not gonna stand up here the rest of the evening. People. Kelly, I love you, man. You're my hero. If I'm not mistaken, Kelly, I think you stole the number I used to run on my race car, 07. Is that correct? But you did take it after I let this go. Kelly, you're a great man. Thank you so much. I remember your father. He was a great man as well. We had a lot of friends and family, supporters, and I want to thank you all, and especially Rob and all of his crew here. I mean, you don't know probably how hard they work throughout the year and just to put this special event on for all you folks. And may God bless all of you, and I hope to see you all here next year with 2015 inductees. Thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here.